My approach to building successful nonprofit organizations is so unique because of my ability to be able to connect with individuals and connect with people.
I want you to look as far as you can see and dream as big as you can dream. My job is to help you get to what you saw.
Man, I'm inviting you to take this journey with me so you can see the highs and the lows, the ups and downs. Stay tuned for more. I am excited. I'm excited. I think I have probably the coolest job out. You know what I mean? To be able to support nonprofit organizations. Danielle, the executive director, founder of Women Just Like Me. And Danielle, I'm excited for you. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna talk about this, as we dive in of why I was so impressed with you. But Danielle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderful. How are you?
Good. And listen, if you're chiming in, make sure you're more than welcome. If you have questions for Danielle, if you have questions for myself, you can put it in the chat, and we will definitely dive into the chat. My name is Derek Hill, and this is the Nonprofit Spotlight. Absolutely amazing. Danielle, I know all about, Women Just Like Me, but for those who don't know about the organization, the website is on the screen. But Danielle, just tell us a little bit about the nonprofit organization.
So Women Just Like Me is a foundation, or I should say a nonprofit organization, as you mentioned, that has basically support and provide supportive services and resources and tools for girls, teen mothers, and those that are in disadvantaged communities. The girls look like myself and girls that mirror each other. Pretty much girls that are experiencing some challenges as they are transitioning into adulthood. We provide a number of resources, from personal growth workshops to personal development, to even providing emotional support through our mental health services that we offer as well.
Wow. Hey, Danielle, let me ask you this. What do you think is, hey, what's up, Terry? What do you think, Danielle, is probably, in your estimation, that girls, particularly girls of color, what do you think are some of the challenges that our teenage girls are facing?
Oh, wow. There's so many challenges. I would say that one of the number one challenges that girls actually communicate or express to me is rejection. That's a huge thing. So as you know, with so many different influences, they have so many different avenues or ways in terms of looking from social media to other sources to make comparisons of themselves, to other people that they see. And it's really hard. So I would say you get the feeling of rejection, but also that feeling of being not good enough.
And you know what? And I think not only just with young people, with girls, I think this is just, young people in general too, just not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough. And, I think we as leaders and adults, I think just really diving into their world and diving into our young people's space is just so important. But what do you have coming up? I know there's a camp coming up that I know you're bringing. Tell us about the camp. What is that like?
Yeah. So I'm very excited about the camp.
I know you are.
The camp is GOD Summer Camp, which is Girls of Destiny Summer Camp, which is for ages 10 to 14. And we have so many great opportunities that's going to be showcased, or I should say presented in this camp. It's actually taking place at a clubhouse, at a golf clubhouse. So these young ladies have to
really?
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And they have the opportunity to, get the experience of golf lessons, which a lot of African American or people of color don't have that experience as they're, in their childhood. So they'll have an opportunity to have some really fun and interactive activities such as golf. We have a director of of one of the colleges, which is actually, I believe, is Bowling Green University. And she's actually going to be coming in and doing some college exploration workshops, showing girls what is necessary to get involved and to apply for college. Because believe it or not, a lot of girls feel that they have these dreams of college and career, but they don't know how to get there. And even doing a survey amongst young girls, a lot of them don't feel that they have what it takes to go and enter into college. So I'm really excited that we have this lady, or we have this director that's coming from Bowling Green State University, that's going to be doing a series of goal workshops and college exploration. So yeah, it's actually starting on June 22nd. I'm so excited to actually present this.
And what are the dates again?
It starts on June 22nd. And it's actually 2 days a week for 5 weeks.
Man, you are about to be busy.
I am busy. So, hey, but I love it. I love every bit of it.
Hey, and if you're just chiming in, hey, what's going on, Gregory? If you're just chiming in, I'm talking to Danielle, founder and executive director of Women Just Like Me, which is an organization that focuses on girls, young ladies, just helping everybody to live the best lives that they possibly can. And let me tell you, Danielle, why I'm so impressed with you. I remember when I first started, and let me ask you this, if you're in this live, we're talking about girls. If you have a daughter or a teenage girl, what do you think is the number one challenge that young girls are facing? So if teenage girls are facing, and just young people in general. So if you are in this chat or on this live, can you just pop in a comment? What do you think is one of the challenges that young people are facing, particularly girls? But again, if you're on the chat, I just want to hear you. We're talking about just an amazing nonprofit organization Danielle has founded. Definitely. Hey, what up, Mo? Peer pressure for sure. Peer pressure for sure.
Absolutely,
yes. Danielle, I think for me, one of the things that I was impressed with you when we first met, and you was like, Derek, you can talk about how Danielle met. Derek, can you talk about how you and Danielle met and how Danielle got started? Perfect, will do. Terry from New York City wants to know how you got started. So we're going to dive into that. Thanks, Terry. Danielle and I met. Danielle sent me, we was on a link. I think it was Blacks and Nonprofits or something like that. And she saw a post that I put up and we just connected. And we connected on social media. And this was about 4 months ago. And Danielle said, I said, Danielle, what are your top priorities? I'll never forget this. You was like, I want to develop my board of directors. Danielle, when you put that out there of how you wanted to develop your board of directors, that was so impressive to me, because in any nonprofit organization, the board is like the nucleus. But Danielle, Terry from New York has a question for you. And her question is, how'd you get started? Like, what did you do? How did this whole thing get started?
Well, let me say this. Let me back up just a tad bit, because you asked about what are we all about? And I wanted to bring to the surface. So that's a good question, Terry. I actually got started because I had a child at a very young age, at the age of 16 years old. So the premises of the whole idea of the organization is basically about pregnancy prevention, but also at the same time to help young mothers become, with successful parenting. But yeah, we actually revamped and restarted the program in 2019, and just going through all the red tape basically, and filling out our nonprofit work, our nonprofit information to become a 501c3. And as Derek pointed out, I met him within the Blacks of Nonprofit space, and I reached out to him, but at the same time, I'm thinking there's no way he's going to, reach back, because it was so many people that was, looking for his service. So I'm really blessed that he's actually helped me with helping to develop my board. That was one of my primary goals. But yes, that is how I got started.
Yeah. And you know what? I think too, and I think in the nonprofit space, Like this is this is not easy. Hey Danielle, have you ever said to yourself, man, this is really tough? Like, does it get tough for you at times?
It does. It does get tough, but you know what? This is my baby. This is my love. I enjoy this is what gets me out the bed every morning, aside from my children, of course. But you know, it's I really have a passion to help people and to help girls that are going through the same challenges as myself. And that's why it's called Women Just Like Me. But it does get tough, and it gets tough in terms of, I think any position in terms of being a leader can have its challenges, but yes.
Hey, what is it? What is it that keeps you going? What is it that just doesn't let you throw in the towel and say, man, I gotta keep going. I gotta do it. Like, what is that? What keeps you going?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be so transparent. Actually, it's my 8-year-old daughter. She's my number one cheerleader. I tell you, she's yes, anytime she hears our commercials on the radio, anytime she know I'm coming up with a new program, anytime a parent is calling and want to get their daughter involved in any of the programs, she's like super excited. She was just like, Mom, I'm proud of you. I want to do this when I get older. I want to take over the reins. And that's coming from an 8-year-old child. So that's definitely motivation, if nothing else.
Wow. And now, Danielle, like, because there are people that are going to be chiming in, particularly rebroadcasting now from different places. What are some of the volunteers like if somebody doesn't, and where are you located? Tell everyone where you're located.
We're located in Columbus, Ohio.
All right. So if someone is not able to, like if somebody is not in the Columbus area, how can they still volunteer or be a part? Like, is there something that people can do who's in New York, Philadelphia, wherever? Is there anything that other people can do?
Absolutely. We definitely encourage people from, you know, different regions or different places, because there's a space of virtual that we actually do a lot of virtual volunteer work and things like that. And with COVID presenting these opportunities with everything going online, it really has given us the chance to be able to reach out to volunteers and volunteers from other regions to be able to reach out to us and be able to fulfill some of these volunteer spaces online. So yes, to answer your question, we have a resource committee that we are currently developing, and we are looking for volunteers in that space. We're always running fundraiser campaigns. So that is another opportunity that we really need some assistance in. So the work is, you know, the work is definitely there. So
gotcha.
We definitely welcome volunteers.
Hey, listen, if you want to volunteer, we got another question for you, Danielle. But if you want to volunteer, you can go to the website, womenjustlikeme.org. And, you know, I'm sure there's a space where you can volunteer. Danielle is also on social media, very active on social media. Happy belated birthday as well. I know you had a birthday last week or something like that. So yes, happy belated birthday to you. There's a question, but before I answer this question, I know, and you said it earlier, that there's so many people that are trying to, you know, want my services and the services that I provide to support nonprofit organizations, which is definitely open in all states. I think for me, I have a passion. There was a question that came in. Do I provide support to nonprofits in all states? And it's all states, except not in Canada, but all of the states in the United States. Absolutely, for sure. Danielle, there's a question. Why all girls? What happened to the boys?
You know, I have to speak from experience. You know, that, you know, I'm not going to say that we will never open up to, on board or to have boys in our program. But this is what I will say is that with our parenting piece, we actually really do encourage parents, both the mother and the father, to take these courses together, because we really do believe that there is a need for both parents to be involved. So yes, we do offer parenting classes to both parents, female and male. So yes, we definitely don't discriminate in that sense. So yeah, it's there.
And Danielle, also, I know you launched a fundraising campaign. And so I just want to encourage everyone, if you're listening and if you want to support a nonprofit organization, I'm very familiar with Danielle and the work that she's doing. So if you really want to, if you want to support financially, the website is on the screen. Just make sure you go support. You know, I just believe in the work of nonprofits. Paulette, thank you for sharing your experience. Paulette said, thank you for sharing your experience. And that's what it's about. And I appreciate you, Danielle, for also sharing your experience, because, you know, for you to birth this out of your experiences, that's most important. But let me ask you this. What has been the single, because I'm sure that there are other people on this live who might be wanting to start a nonprofit organization, who started a nonprofit, or might be wanting to. What is the single most difficult challenge that you run into as leading a nonprofit organization?
As I said earlier, I would definitely say
that one thing.
One thing would be just really developing and sustaining a really good board. That is always my primary goal, is to make sure that we have an effective board, because without having an effective board, our nonprofit will not run successfully. And we definitely always are looking for committed and dedicated people. And to be honest, sometimes that is hard to come by. But right now, I am definitely proud of the board and the hard work that we all have put into operating this nonprofit.
Hey, Danielle, we got a question from Terry in New York City. In Manhattan, Terry says, what are the top three things you look for in a board member?
I look for, number one, dedication, commitment, and reliability.
Dedication, commitment, and reliability.
Yes, good. Because everything else can be taught.
Yeah. So you look, but those soft skills right there. And to add to that point, Terry, one of the things with hey, what's up, Gerard? Chime in from New York. From Gerard, where are you from? Are you in New Jersey, Gerard? Or Bronx, New Jersey? I think you're New Jersey. Tell me where you're at now, Gerard. You know, I helped Danielle with this whole board piece. And I remember when Danielle first started with this whole board piece, Terry, Danielle literally was like, I want to interview every single person. On top of that, she said, okay, send me resumes. I want resumes. I was like, Danielle, you are the MVP of this thing. And I'm proud of you. You know, like I said, I'm blessed to be able to work with some amazing nonprofit organizations, you know. And I tell this story, right? New Jersey, dang, man. Parsippany, New Jersey is in the building. You know, I'm blessed to be able to, and it's crazy, Danielle. I don't know if I ever told you this, right? But 3 years ago, I had a vision board. I made this vision board, right? 4 years ago, I had a vision board. And on my vision board, I cut out a picture of Steve Harvey, put it on the vision board. Ricky Smiley, put it on the vision board. A person from Housewives of Atlanta, put her on the vision board. Kevin Hart, put him on the vision board. And I was like, one day, I'm going to lead these nonprofit organizations or have some level of input in these nonprofits. Didn't know how I was, because, you know, I'm looking at, you know, Steve Harvey on television, Family Feud. I'm like, how's this gonna happen? And Danielle, I get a text message saying, hey, listen, can you come down to the Steve Harvey World Group, Steve Harvey's office, which was in Atlanta at that particular time, in Atlanta. And I was like, I didn't even interview or anything, but went down there. Long story short, they texted me the address, went down there. And from that point, like, I'm running logistics and a virtual mentoring program with then Ricky Smiley. And it's just amazing. And I say that, and I tell that story because vision is so powerful. And when you have vision, and that's what I appreciate you, Danielle, you know, it's like when you have vision, everything comes to pass. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I applaud you. if you're just joining, Danielle, Women Just Like Me, just an amazing organization. Danielle and I've been working together for about 4 months, and in her first 90 days, she's just gained so much traction. Danielle, there are some parents who have daughters on this particular live. There are some parents who have daughters that will see this on a rebroadcast. What advice would you give some parents who have a daughter who might be struggling with their daughter on whatever this between those teenage years? What advice would you give that mom or that dad?
Yeah. Well, teenagers that development age can be very complex sometimes. They want to go in their room and hide out in the room. Sometimes they act like they don't want to be bothered, but it's actually on the contrary. It's actually opposite of that. I will always say communication, even when they act like they don't want to be bothered, just always communicate, even if it's just peeking in the room to say how you feel and how you doing, because a lot of times they do want us as parents to ask that. Just doing those check-ins with them, is one of the things that I will always recommend to parents, especially for those kids that are really silent.
Yeah. Hey, Paulette Smith, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Paulette. Myself and Danielle both appreciate you for that comment. Hey, Danielle, listen, we are past our time. I thought it was going to be on for 15 minutes. Here we are, 21 minutes. Before we leave, is there anything that you want to add, anything you want to say before we get ready to get out of here?
I just appreciate everybody, tuning in and being on the live and asking questions. And yes, for any parents that is in Columbus, Ohio, and that have girls anywhere between the ages of 10 to 16, feel free to connect and check us out on our website at womenjustlikeme.org. And I'll be happy to answer your questions and to go over any information that you want to know more about our program.
Danielle, let me tell you, so true. Gerard Thomas says, so true. I worked for a nonprofit organization, Covenant House, for 32 years, young adults. You understand what Danielle is saying. The communication is key. And Gerard, you are that's a tough job. Terry says, can you post the links to the classes? So if you go to womenjustlikeme.org, Danielle, somebody wants you just to see the different classes that are available. Is there a way that people can see those classes?
Well, sure. Well, I'm not sure if it's been updated, but you always can go to the website at womenjustlikeme.org and send in. There's a subscription. You can subscribe or send a message with your information, and I'll be more than happy to provide you with some additional information as it pertains to our programs and our scheduling.
Danielle, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. And obviously, we're going to keep talking. You're welcome. You take care. Have a blessed evening now.
You as well.
All right.
I'm Derek Hill, and I change lives through building successful and sustainable nonprofit organizations. Some of the nonprofit organizations that I've worked with in the past and currently work with include the Steve and Margie Harvey Foundation, Ricky Smiley Foundation, YMCA, Chef G. Garvin Foundation, Boys and Girls Club. But you know what I found? Regardless as to the size of a nonprofit organization, they still share the same baseline principles for success.